The first person to imagine a Trump presidency was not me, but was former President Richard Nixon. I was working for Nixon, doing political chores in his post-presidential years, and he met Donald Trump in George Steinbrenner's box at Yankee Stadium. And they hit it off. And he called me the next day, and he said, "Well, I met your man. I got to tell you, he's got it. He could really go all the way."
Wow, he said that?
And then days later, he dropped a note, which I reproduce in the book, to Donald Trump that said, this is so typical of Nixon's circumlocution. "Mrs. Nixon," he said, "saw you on the Mike Douglas show and thought you were superb. And she says if you ever run for public office, you will win because you're a winner." And Mrs. Nixon knows about these things. Well, of course, he was talking about himself in his own judgment. Not long after that, President Nixon and Donald Trump spent a weekend together. They went for a charitable event in Houston, Texas. They essentially barricaded themselves in a hotel suite and spent hours together talking geopolitics. And Nixon said Trump just fired questions at him, one after another, wanting to know about Brezhnev, about the Russians, the Chinese, really a round-the-world tour. So the men hit it off, and it was Nixon who first saw the potential for a Trump presidency.